So tell me more kind of like what typical workflow looks like for you and your client. I think a lot of people maybe that haven't worked with a virtual professional, they don't even know where
Mm-hmm.
to begin. Like, how does it typically work with, you and your client? Do you have phone call meetings? Do you do video chat? Do
Mm-hmm.
you do texting, email? What does it typically look like? All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Workergenics Mastermind. With this episode, we're going to be focusing on technology and how our incredible virtual professionals leverage technology to bring added value to their clients. So, I have with us today one of our own virtual professionals, Danica, and she's going to help share how she uses technology and how other virtual professionals use technology to support their clients. Thank you for being
Yes.
on the episode with us, Danica. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for inviting me here. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, could you maybe share just a little bit about your background and kind of work experience so everyone can kind of understand where you're coming from?
Yeah, I'm actually before I was just working in a BPO industry for 3 years, and kind of like pandemic, I decided to jump into a virtual assistant or like working a remote job. So I've been here with this industry for 10 months now, or like for over a year to be exact. And then as a virtual assistant, my first client, my niche was like a cold caller. So I've been working in a car dealership before, and I have three clients in one dealership. So that was like all sales guy, one manager, one sales guy, and one assistant. So what I do is just to call prospects or like their prospects for pre-owned cars or like trade-in, or they are like looking for a new car or like selling their cars, just that it. And then the second move would be like working in a real estate company. So I'm like working in investors in a realtor. So what I do is just still a cold caller, a lead generation until I work here and look for like found this workergenics, which I've learned a lot. And right now working in a realtor. Yeah.
Awesome. So, doing sales and cold calls, I imagine you're using some technology tools like maybe some CRMs, some dialers,
Yes.
some tools for finding leads. Can you talk about some of those tools that you've been using in, currently and in your past work?
Yeah, regarding with my past work, since that was really a billing and sales, and we do hard selling, upselling, services in our company. And our main tools is a CRM. It's really a legacy CRM, which you can see all the informations there. It's actually 16 tools in total, but we prioritize CRM, which we do billing, technical, and sales. So after that, we like in lead generation for leads or like least prospects, we also used CRM pipeline. So it's literally a different CRM marketing, CRM leads, like that. So yeah, my main as a lead generation specialist, like my main tools is literally a CRM.
Very good. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in your current role, you're doing some work with creating newsletters and like following up with leads. Can you talk about some of the tools that you're using now?
Yeah, with the client that I have right now as a realtor, she used a MailChimp. So right now, I use MailChimp for her newsletter. What I do is just a market update. And yeah, just weekly, we decided to release a newsletter market update every, like bi weekly, actually. And then just like that, newsletter bi weekly using MailChimp.
Okay. And then to create content for the newsletter, are you using any tools? Are you like using some sources online to get data or helping you with creating content?
We do is to pull up information in MLS and GCar, most especially that tool, Realtor.com and also Zillow.
Okay, awesome. Now, tell me about like, have you used AI at all, AI tools for anything that you've done for your work?
Yeah, absolutely. ChatGPT and Grammarly is really a great help as a content creator. Like if you're doing a newsletter or if you're doing a social media, you really need like ChatGPT and Grammarly to guide you and to correct you as well.
Awesome. So could you give some examples of like how you would use ChatGPT in kind of
Hmm.
your daily work life?
Yeah, ChatGPT. I mostly like use that one in social media. I ask ChatGPT to give me at least a list of contents that I can use for a realtor, and then ChatGPT can give me at least 30, and it really like helpful for me to at least do a scratch or make a draft for my content about that, and also to check or double check grammars and if the captions is correct, if this is accurate for this content. It's really a great platform.
So it sounds like using the AI tools like Grammarly and ChatGPT not only help save you time in like coming up with ideas and making sure grammar is correct and all those kind of things, it saves your client a lot of time having to direct you with ideas for content and kind of double checking work. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So let's talk about kind of on the like marketing or graphic side, like what kind of online tools have you used for like creating graphics or things like that?
Yeah, regarding with the graphics, I usually use Canva. Canva is really a flexible platform for any graphics that you wanted to like what kind of content you wanted to do on a daily basis. So yeah, Canva. I usually use Canva.
What before Canva, were you doing anything where you had to create graphics like offline or, using some older tools? And what's the difference between like what Canva allows you to do now versus how maybe you used to have to do graphics?
Well, before when I haven't known Canva, I usually used a free online editors. I can't like I can't say what's the exact website for that one, but I just like research, okay, editor for this graphics, something like that. And it's not a very helpful because there's so many ads, there's watermarks on it. And the good thing about Canva, there's like a template already that you can just edit, and then there's a lot of suggestions on it, and then yeah, just a lot of things that you can like track on Canva. And
That's
there's no
awesome.
watermarks at the same time.
Right. Then how is it, being an employee at Workergenics with like team collaboration? One of the things that sets Workergenics apart from other businesses is we have like the internal chat and everyone's working together. Can you like share some experiences where you got help from other VPs
Yeah.
when you had questions or struggling with something and what that looked like?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when since my day one here in my onboarding process, I was just amazed the VPs with the admins because in just seconds I will like receive a response from them. Oh, this is like this. Not just like a chat. If they really wanted to help you, they will send you a Google Meet and then okay, let's meet like this and we will talk about it. I'll share a share screen for you so that you can understand well. And that's how I really love working at Workogenics. There's a lot of people who can help you anytime.
That's great. Have you ever had to like ask for help with like a client task where you weren't sure how to use a certain tool and had to go to the chat and ask other VPs?
Yeah, I do, yes, most often. And then some of the VPs as well asking me about that. So we're just sharing thoughts and sharing experience about what tools we need to improve, something like that. And it's great.
Yeah, so I want to share a quick story. So one of our other VPs who helps with some of the promotion for my beach houses, he
Hmm.
recently used ChatGPT in a combination of our short-term rental hosting tool to help identify some target markets that he could do online social media marketing. So he went and exported the list of our past guests at our beach houses and got the names and addresses and stuff like that, uploaded that list to ChatGPT, and then asked ChatGPT to organize it by
Mm.
MSAs, that's metropolitan statistical areas. So it's kind of like general regions based on individual little cities or counties that our guests may have come from. And then he had it sort that list by the most populous. So that allowed him to create a high, kind of a priority targeted list for marketing our beach houses. And so now he uses Facebook and ChatGPT and Canva in combination to create posts and find groups specific to those areas where we know we've had guests come from in the past, and to promote our beach houses in those groups so other people are able to see them. And we've actually had an uptick in direct bookings as a direct result of him using those technologies. So, Danica, I'd love to hear more from you, just kind of like, what is your like favorite technology or something new that you've learned with technology since joining Workergenics?
Since joining Workogenics, I usually used Canva, and I really love doing Canva since I love editing. Not just Canva, I'm also using CapCut for video editing. So my client right now is more on social media contents. So in a week, actually like 80% I'm using Canva and CapCut.
So, can you explain what CapCut is? I think maybe some people watching this may have not heard of CapCut before.
Yeah, CapCut is actually a not, I can't call CapCut a basic editor, video editor, but it really helps you a lot of video editing, just basics. There's instruction how to do it, and then you can do animation, you can do overlays and adding video. Actually, a lot of things that you could do in CapCut. You can do video, photo grade. You can also edit pictures in CapCut, not just video.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more, like what are you doing for your client in CapCut? What does that like workflow look like? Do they have to tell you exactly what to do, or do they just kind of give you some raw content or ideas? Do they give you video files to edit, or do you come up with all the content on your own? What does that look like?
What I do in CapCut is just do a video overlay and then just put text on that video.
Or like
So
captions?
yeah, like just captions, just simple as that. Yeah.
Okay,
And
and then
then put musics on that video.
how does your client get you the video files that they want you to edit?
Sometimes I directly like pull the photos or videos in the website of a photographer, like a photographer, and then sometimes she sent it to me via Google Drive, through email, or through iMessage.
Okay, so Google Drive, like Google Workspace, that's another technology that you probably use in your work. Can you tell me a little bit about like how you
Yes,
use Google Workspace and Google Drive?
I always use Google Workspace, Google Mail, like Gmail, Google Chat, Google Meet, and Google Drive. I always use Google Drive because a lot of files, important files, are in there. Google Drive is really easy to share files, and it still feels secured if that was like a sensitive information, you know. So you can log, you can manage who can access it. So that's how we really love Google Drive.
You bring up a really good point there with the access and security. I actually had kind of a sad story. A client of ours recently was working with a VP, and he was not using our Google Drive that we provide for all of our clients, and instead had a bunch of files local on his computer, and then was instructing his VP to work with these files local on their computer. And unfortunately, I mean, these things happen. They had a crash on their computer. The hard drive had to get wiped and get, the operating system reinstalled, and those files were lost.
Yeah.
And he was kind of frustrated about this, and so I was on the phone with him and I asked him, well, did you have a copy of these files in the share drive that we provide you? Because if you have them there, I can
Um,
pull them right now and get them recovered, and get you back to where you were. And unfortunately, he was not using Google Drive. He's like, oh, I just like using things on my local computer. And that can unfortunately happen when people don't use the cloud. They don't use Google
yeah.
Drive. Files can get lost. And so um, I really encourage everybody, like, if you're working in the modern day, like, you've got to use the cloud, because the local computer disks
Yeah,
can
we
somehow
don't know.
stolen.
Yeah, anytime will crash. Yeah, absolutely. I well, actually, my client right now doesn't like use Google Drive before, but when we do like our first meeting, what I do is just to introduce to her what Google Drive is, what's the importance using the Google Drive, and right now, whenever we do social media review and everything like that, photos, she literally like, hey Danica, I checked the Google Drive, where is something like this, where's the file? So I love it. So she using the Google Drive now.
So you help keep things organized for your client, that it sounds like.
Yes. And like I help her to properly navigate and organize her Google Drive too, in case for her future use, something like that. Personal,
Awesome.
yeah.
Now, so we use Monday.com a lot at Workergenics. Is that the task portal and Monday.com? Is that something that was new to you when you joined us?
Yeah, absolutely. Monday.com. I heard that before, but I haven't used it. So this is the first time I used Monday.com the day that I like joined Workergenics.
What have your thoughts been on Monday.com in general, and then also like our task portal that we have for our clients?
Yeah. On my first day, I was literally amazed because I was trained for like about 20 to 30 minutes and it's just so easy to navigate. The good thing about Monday.com, you can manage or like you can organize your task from critical to low, and then you will know let's what task you need to prioritize until like you'll get into the very end of your task, and you can manage your time at the same time. So you will know, oh, I can play the time at the side of this task, so I'll know I spent a lot of time doing this task already, so it's is this the best time to proceed to the next task, something like that. And also, anytime you can put tasks there, you can assign, and you will know who is the requester of this task and who's the assignee.
Awesome. So have you found that using the task portal helps you be more efficient with your time, kind of guiding
Mhm.
you so that you know what to work on, you know what's the priority, and you know what information or details are needed to complete the task can all be found right there.
Absolutely, it's very helpful for me to organize my task from critical to low. That's what I mentioned earlier. It's very
Do you find
helpful.
that your clients tend to use the task portal quite often, or are you kind of entering the tasks yourself to keep track of things?
She do actually. She really loves putting tasks there and put critical to low since before she don't know how to like really navigate Monday.com. So we do a quick meeting. So I showed her how to put task, how to let me know if this is a critical, if do I need to prioritize this task, so she can just tag as critical task. And then after that, she always put a task there, even just please put this one in my calendar. She always do that just to make sure that she gave me the right task. Though, like if she can, like just a personal task, if she can do it, she will just go to Monday.com and put it there, and then tomorrow I'll do that. And that's it.
That's so that's great. You mentioned something that I wanted to kind of keyed in on putting something in her calendar. So do you help your client with managing her calendar, or do you have like a shared calendar?
I'm not usually using calendar for my client because our platform that we used for her business is like connected already to a calendar. So what I do is just to check to make sure that it's synced and it organized. I just need to like ping her, like you have a meeting at this time at this day. So just to keep you informed, just like that. Nothing more with the calendar.
Okay. But that is something a lot of our VPs, especially the executive assistants, help with that you've probably heard in the chat is, you know, people helping with like email management and calendar
Mm-hmm.
management so that those busy executives don't have to be down in the weeds dealing with stuff like that. They can just go to their trusted VP like you and say, "Hey, Danica, can you make sure this meeting gets in my calendar?" And it
Yeah.
was funny, just I did that the other day. I was going to meet with a couple of our VPs. Rather than me opening up the calendar, figuring out when they're available, sending out the invites, I just asked them, I just chatted them. I was like, hey, send me a calendar invite for when you're available. They can,
Hmm.
using Google Workspace, it automatically shows when they add me as a guest what my calendar availability is. So they were able to create the event when I'm available and when they're available without having to have a long series of back and forths and emails figuring out who's available when. It's saved a huge amount of time and
Yeah.
we're able to meet and get the job done. So tell me more kind of like what typical workflow looks like for you and your client. I think a lot of people maybe that haven't worked with a virtual professional, they don't even know where
Hmm.
to begin. Like, how does it typically work with, you and your client? Do you have phone call meetings? Do you do video chat? Do
Hmm.
you do texting, email? What?
I insist to schedule a weekly meeting with my clients every Monday. Before we like start a week, I wanted to talk her about what her plan for this week, so I know what's to do or what's to update on social media or on the newsletter, any changes about the editing, something like that. And then regarding with the task, we actually create a layout like a docs where we can, aside from monday.com, we also do a weekly task portal. So that docs could like for this time range like 11 or 9 p.m. to or like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. you'll do a lead generation. For the next 2 hours you will do zillow leads, zillow follow-ups, and then the next one will be completed follow-up boss task, something like that.
Okay, so it sounds like you and your client do what's called time blocking. You have like specific
Time blocking,
blocks
yeah,
in your
exactly.
schedule where so that way you know what kind of activities you're supposed to work on
Hmm.
and she knows what you're working on during that time.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. And so another kind of technology question I have would be like phone service. So with WorkerGenX, we provide all of our employees a virtual phone number so they can call and text. Do you use that a lot when working with your clients, or do they give you your own phone service, or do they use something completely different?
Well, right now I'm using OpenPhone. I'm with my client and even in Worker Genix. OpenPhone is really a good dialer. No issues at all, and yeah, it's has a like a great answer rate for me, like for us, since my client and me is really into answer rate. We because sometimes there's like phone numbers that will automatically flag if it's a new number or it's not verified, something like that. And the good thing about Open Phone, there is like a fast answer rate, so minimal voicemail, something like that. It's a good.
Okay, so you've been quite successful then, you would say, following up with leads for your client using OpenPhone.
Yes.
It's not getting flagged as spam, it's not getting blocked, like people pick up the phone.
Yes, because we monitor for the first week I work with my client, we monitor that one, and the good thing, it's really good. It really works good, so we don't have a
Awesome.
problem at all. Open phone is good. Yeah.
Well, for those of you watching and you're not a WorkerGenix client yet, we can have a referral link down in the description of the video where you can sign up for OpenPhone. You'll get a credit and we'll get a referral credit for that as well. It's a great tool. We use it for all of our phone needs here at WorkerGenix. Every single employee gets their own phone number. Some of them get multiple phone numbers. You can share numbers. It's a really powerful tool, has great quality, and you can pick your own numbers. So, I highly
Yeah.
recommend it for everyone. And we include that with our service for all of our virtual professionals. Well, Danica, we've covered kind of quite a lot. Are there other tools that, in the inside chat that you hear other employees talking about or having questions? I know, a lot of our employees do a lot of bookkeeping. Um,
Mhm.
do, are you exposed to any of that?
For bookkeeping's not at this time actually, but I've heard some basic tools, not a basic tools, but at least a main tools as a bookkeeper. They call QuickBooks. So yeah, which they
Yeah, a
can
lot.
like track expenses, like vendors, something like that.
Yeah, so a lot of our employees are QuickBooks certified pros. They have accounting
Yeah.
backgrounds. Bookkeeping is a huge, huge demand for us from our clients. People do not like
Mm-hmm.
having to do their own books, And so we're able to get really great bookkeepers that are QuickBooks pros that can hop in there and get all their books straightened out.
Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Danica, this has been a real pleasure talking to you who is actually like in the trenches, using these technology tools, helping your client, and hearing from you how these stories of how you're doing direct support for your client with various technology tools so that they're able to focus on high level things, growing their business, closing deals. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much as well for inviting me here. I'm so happy that I like share with you what I usually use here.
Awesome. Well, for those of you watching and you have not yet become a Workergenics client and you'd like to have your own dedicated Danica helping you leverage your time and having them leverage technology to grow your business, reach out. We'd love to have a free discovery call and talk exactly about how we can get you your own VP Danica to help you grow your business.